we're here to do a podcast. We sit down, we already start talking.
It just goes
We
right
turn and we're like, I think we better start filming if we're gonna start.
If we're gonna start talking.
Where were we were talking about actors doing research on social media.
I think most people are turning to social media now because the presence is so heavy. Like my friends, anytime they come to me, they're like, if the agency has a really good social media presence or if it looks appealing, that's the ones they want to reach out to.
Right.
Those are the ones that they're really interested in because they're like, I want to be a part of something that looks this good, that looks this organized. And
yeah.
So that was what drew me to Leighton in the first place.
Really?
Yeah. I was doing my research, looking at all like the SAG approved agencies.
Yeah.
And I think this was like the third website that I clicked on. And it was the most, I was like, oh my God, this looks really good. I had interviews with Ruth on there. I was like,
I really appreciate you saying that because it was a fight to convince mom to like, she didn't have Instagram, for years. And then I said, I think you're gonna have to do this, and I am sort of, just the son. And you look at, especially as an only son, your family business, and you go, okay, well, what can we do to help and to grow? And you have to look ahead and think about it. And initially, when I kicked off the social media, when I forced her to do that interview, which I actually talked about in my podcast with Heath, and I said she was crying every other minute. And there is like one where she cried because she's a very shy person. She's great on the phone, but if you ever see her in person at an event, she's hiding in the corner and everyone's attacking her because they're all like, that's Ruth Leighton.
Yeah.
We want to talk to Ruth Leighton. She's like famous in her own way, but she's very down to earth and she's not that kind of person.
yeah, she's the most down to earth. Like,
Yeah.
every time I talk to her, it's like talking to another mom.
And that's why I think she felt like, well, I don't want the social media and that's to be to have that sense of, I want us to still be a family. And I'm like, we just have to capture that family feeling in the marketing.
I got that sense when I watched it. Like, it was such a genuineness coming from her. And I was like, I want to be a part of that too.
That's cool. How long have you been part of the agency now?
Since 2021.
Okay.
I think. It was after I had my daughter and I quit my job and I was staying home.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is the time. I have to get back out
to do
there.
you.
Yeah.
Were you acting before?
I was acting independently. I think the last time I really dedicated time to it was high school, though, because it wasn't long after high school that like my husband and I started dating and got engaged and got married. And so I feel like my passion sort of took a back seat a little bit. And after I had my kids, I was able to refocus and get back to what do I want to do. And the biggest thing in my life, my whole life growing up, was acting.
Yeah.
So I couldn't get away from it. I couldn't stop thinking about it. So I sat down. I was like, I don't have a job anymore. I'm sitting at home.
I'm being a mom.
Good but
that's the most important job.
Yeah. And I love it. And I'm so grateful that I get to be home. And I'm even more grateful that because I get to be home, I get to do this too.
Yeah.
So since 2021, this is like my third baby.
Did we first meet on EnviroBoss, the commercial?
Yeah, well, first my headshots, and then my family did the EnviroBoss commercial with you.
Yeah, and Ruth's been packaging you as a family. I think that's something that a lot of people don't realize that's unique for Leighton Agency.
It's really cool. It's not something I knew was going to happen because once I told her, I was like, I have kids. She was like, send me a picture.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. She's like, your family's so cute. I need to can I have a picture of you guys? I told my husband and he was like, okay, what does this mean? What do I have to do?
I love your husband because I've had him on set and you tell him what to do and he's like, okay.
Yeah.
He's a yes man. Care at all. He's like, okay.
Yeah. He's the yes man. He's like, you tell me what to do, I'll do it, I guess. Yeah. So I think that's been really cool. We've done a few shoots as a family and they really enjoy it. They like to say that they have a job every once in a while. They're like, I've made my own money. So it's really cool.
How's it been with the different opportunities for you here at the agency?
I mean, I think this last year has been so busy, like in the best way.
Yeah.
That every day I'm like reflecting. I'm like, I'm so grateful that I made the decisions that I have, that I've joined your class, that I'm part of the agency, that I feel like all of these opportunities are pouring in. Yeah. And I think I sent your mom an email last month just to thank her, because the month of June was packed with auditions and like all kinds of stuff going on. And I'm like, oh my God, I need to reflect and just be thankful. Even though it's busy, I'm like, I'm so thankful I have this.
Yeah. And that's beautiful to hear, particularly in the summer months. Yeah. And June it was a very busy month. Yeah. For the agency.
But it was like audition, callback, all that stuff. I was like, okay, 2 years ago, I didn't have any of this. So I'm basking in it. I'm like, thank you.
And it's funny you bring up the class, the ensemble I created. It's been great to watch you grow as an artist. Even here doing the podcast, I'm like, Kennedy became so much more open and friendly. And, I talk a lot about, for actors, likability is huge. Being able to be yourself in a space and be easy to work with, be kind, and just light up the room. And that's a big part of what we do as actors.
Yeah. I feel like this has always been me, but being me in front of a group of people or like a crowd of people has like been a struggle. I always retreat into my shell.
Yeah.
So the class has genuinely like changed a lot of that for me, because it makes me reflect like, okay, I don't need to be like shy right now. I don't need to be quiet right now. I can use my voice. I can speak out. And I don't know, it's impacted me a lot. Even my family like says so. Even my husband, like when we go out.
Hopefully in a good way.
Yeah, no, it really has. It's made me more, I think, communicative. Like I'm able to speak my mind easier sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, I believe, I always share with you guys, when I started out in New York, I was really young. I was 17, and I couldn't get into an adult acting class because I was a minor. And when I finally got into one, I sat down in this chair and they're like, how do you feel? I'm like, what do you mean how I feel? Is that some weird method question? Are you trying to make me a method actor? You know what I mean? Because I had these ideas of what good acting was that it made no sense. But coming from Arizona, what do you really know? And then you go to these master teachers in New York and Los Angeles and London. I studied in London for a summer, and really began to value that exercise called personal inventory. Like as an actor, you have to know where you are emotionally, whether it's a commercial audition. I mean, obviously theatrical, television, film, a little bit different, but like even as a commercial audition, by knowing like I'm not in a great headspace to walk in right now and to light up the room. Oh, what do I have to do to get into that mind frame? Like it's the winning mind frame. And that, of course, if you're working on that as a person, as an artist, is going to affect the rest of your life. Yeah. And that's what I hear you saying. And that makes me feel good, because ultimately, Leighton Agency, it's not just about helping talent, but helping talent have better lives. And I think that's really important.
Yeah. And I feel like I see that reflected in my life. I'm like, the past 3 years, the 3.5 years have like shifted my life in another direction that I didn't like see before. And I can see like, I don't know, I see a whole new path in front of me. And like, I feel like my passions have been like reignited, and
that's cool.
So it's really cool.
I know you've done a combination of work, like print, commercial. Yeah. Talk a little bit about that for someone that's new coming in, maybe has a dream like yourself, a mom, and like, what are the different types of opportunities for you as an actress that you've experienced here?
Yeah, well, here, like being a commercial market, I didn't know what types of opportunities were going to be out here. I'm like, okay, print and commercial, what does that mean? I, like right off the bat, was able to do some really cool stuff with Discount Tire. So I thought that was really cool. And it was small. So it made me kind of like inch my way in a little bit. Because I was nervous. I was like so nervous coming in, not having been on a professional set before. Yeah. Doing that stuff coming in, that was all print work. just standing in front of the camera and like, okay, pose like this, look like you're working as an employee.
But it is an art form, and I don't want to downplay that.
No,
because
not
I think
at
people
all.
take it for granted. Like they think commercial print, they think, oh, it's anyone can do it, and I just stand there and they tell me what to do. But that's not the goal. The goal is for you to really know how to create those moments.
Absolutely. And so like being able to be directed in those like situations where it is just print, I'm not like talking, I'm not doing anything. I'm like, okay, I got to feel for the set. This feels good. I just have to, keep my ears open, keep my eyes open, make sure I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But I think this market is really benefit for everybody. Like it's very diverse. It's very being able to book my family, and we travel up to Prescott to do a shoot is like the coolest thing I feel like I
totally
could do. I didn't see that happening for me. So I don't know, this market is cool. You meet people and then you meet them again and you become friends. And it's like, I like to say it's like a small town out here. The entertainment community out here is kind of like a small town.
It definitely is a small town.
Yeah.
And everyone knows each other for better, for worse.
Yeah. But it's good. My interactions have all been really positive.
Yeah.
Really good. So I've done some really cool commercials.
Yeah.
And met some really cool people on set who have reached out to me again afterwards to do projects with them. So I don't know, the opportunities are endless. It feels sometimes like just stagnant. There's nothing going on.
Right. And then all of a sudden
they start pouring in.
Yeah.
And then people reach out to you who maybe you forgot that you worked with them, a year ago, and they remembered you and they were like, I really liked working with you. Are you available for this project?
Do you know about how many jobs you've done the last year and a half? I mean, and I know some of those jobs, even one that I brought you in on, that was recurring, but I think you've been on set a lot the last year.
I've been trying to put myself out there and like help other people as well. So I've done some really cool short films with people who are in the industry here and who are also signed to the agency. So like they're doing their own passion projects. And we meet them and they're like, hey, I would really like you for this. But I think this past year with like the Legend brand stuff, that was a really big job, really great opportunity because it was recurring. I've done a couple commercials and I've gotten to do some people's short films that have been the funnest things that like I've had to do.
Of course.
And the stuff that we've done in class as well. Yeah. Which has been beyond.
What I love how you light up when you talk about it and talk about the range of it. And because, I think it's important for people to realize that all the different types of work really help us grow as an artist.
Yeah.
And I think people can get caught in thinking, oh, I want to stay just in the TV lane or the film lane, or, I just want to be a commercial actor. I just want to do print. And it's like, there was a print model I was speaking with, and beautiful and very kind, but she's like, I don't want to do any on-camera work. And I said, why don't you just try? And she did a commercial. She calls me up. She's like, that was the best experience. Yeah. I want to do another one of that. And then she opened her world to these other opportunities that are out there. And that's what we look for at the agency. We look for people that are really open to expanding their opportunities and to growing. And that's how we build the network.
Absolutely.
Because, you never know who's going to call and say, can Kennedy, we booked her on the print, but could she also do one line? Or the industrial for Legend Brands, can she do ongoing copy on a regular basis? It's like all of a sudden, you have this work in this network, and work creates more work.
Yep.
And that's what we're here to do, obviously, and to live out our dream.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you feel a bit like that? Do you feel a bit like, that's what I feel like I see in you when you're lighting up and you're talking about it, little pieces. And sure, it's not a major market. It's not those huge opportunities. There aren't Netflix series coming here, but you get an opportunity to live out a little bit of your dream.
Yeah, that's how I feel. Like, I feel like every time I'm on set, regardless of what it's for, I'm like living in my dream. I'm like, I dreamt of this and now I'm living it. So regardless of the opportunity, I'm just ecstatic to be there.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I'm like grateful that this has been, it's like I didn't choose to be passionate about this. I've been passionate about this since I was a kid. So I'm grateful that I'm in a space and surrounded by people who are in the same like headspace and are in the same mindset as me going forward.
At Leighton Agency, one of the things I've been really thinking about is what is most important, and that's to serve the talent. And so, like, I can't tell you how good it makes me feel, and I know it'll make Mom feel to hear you say that. And, you know, the talent are the best part about our family, and we're grateful for you.
Thank you. I'm grateful for you guys.
All right.